Today we're going to be answering the age-old question, what is better, the M47 or the Leopard 1? Now, when players get to level 11, this is the question that surpasses all others because of course it's between the two, but this is the most frequently asked question I've ever seen on this game. Because players will get to this crossroad and they will not know what to go with. So I'm going to explain to you guys what is good in what regard, and from there you guys should be able to decide, and I'll tell you what I went with. So here's that. First off, the M47 itself, it has a 7.5 second reload with the best shell that it has being a Heat FS shell with 320 millimeters of penetration. It also has other shells like APCR, APCBC, and high explosive. All of those shells are all right. It has a 90 millimeter cannon, and it's decently fast at 48 kilometers an hour. It doesn't really have much armor, though, in comparison with the other tanks that you're going to be going up against, because it is a light tank itself. But overall, it's a pretty solid vehicle. The M103 has a decent chunk of armor in comparison, but not exactly the best in terms of reload, as its reload is about 15 seconds long. It has access to a Heat FS round that has 380 millimeters of penetration on War Thunder PC console. I don't know how much, it is for mobile, because for some of the values they're a little bit different, but I believe it's about the same. Going up against any conventional standard World War II era rounds before any of like the Cold War tanks show up, if you're going in a down tier, it's going to be really easy to handle tanks that you're going to be going up against in that regard, because they're going to have APCBC, which is not going to be able to pen you at all like easily unless they're going around the side. However, if you're going in an up tier, it's going to be really difficult, because even with Heat FS, you might have some difficulty with your shots, and with your really long reload and your large tank body, it makes it a bit difficult at sometimes. But it is a decent heavy tank. The T114 or T114 has a very short reload in its ready rack. I don't know exactly what it's called, but it has 3 rounds of ammunition right here at the back of the tank, which are automatically like just slammed into the gun after you fire, giving it a 2.5 second reload. However, after those shells are spent, you're going to have a longer reload to get the shells back in. So fire just a few shells and then wait for them to reload so you can have that quick firing again. If you are not using that, the reload is going to be a little bit longer. The penetration for this is 433, and it is a light vehicle, so it's quite quick. There is a little bit of drop on the heat rounds because they're not fired at such high velocity, but they're pretty good overall for what you're going to be doing in this tank. It's just really light and vulnerable, so you don't want to be out in the open. The M163 anti-air vehicle fires really, really fast at 3,000 shots a minute, basically. It has a APHEI/T belt with API also in that, so it's like armor piercing, high explosive incendiary, armor piercing. It has a high explosive belt, which is 2 high explosive rounds, then an armor piercing, then 1 high explosive round after. Then it has an AP belt being 2 APs, 1 high explosive, then another AP. Overall, those are mainly going to be used to shred aircraft, but there are some occasions where you're going to be able to destroy light vehicles from the side. It doesn't really handle against other vehicles, though, really well. Like, if you have another medium tank coming up, you're not going to be able to destroy it anyway. Anyway, let's move on to the Leopard 1. The Leopard 1, I believe, is a little bit faster. It is at 65 kilometers per hour, opposed to the M47's 48. And it has a larger caliber gun, and because it has a larger caliber gun, you get access to higher penetrating rounds. The Heat FS on the Leopard 1 has 400 millimeters of penetration, whereas on the M47 it has only 320. So you're more easily going to be dealing with tanks at your rank, and tanks above your rank, below your rank, pretty much any of them. If you don't want to go with heat round, you can use a Hesh round with 127 millimeters pen, which is going to be really good at taking care of light targets, or an APDS round if whatever situation you're in requires that. But when you start out with the APDS round, so you'll have an easy time taking care of targets that are heavier, and you do have a shorter reload than the M47. The M48A2C is got the same amount of reload for the Leopard 1. It has a not as strong heat round that's on the same level of the M47, and it's a little bit Oh, it's not slower. It's the same speed as the M47. Okay? And the armor is better than the M47 too. So I would say overall it's a pretty good tank. It's solid for a medium tank. Then we have the MKPZ M47G, which is just a copy of the M47 that was given to the German Bundeswehr, I believe. So there you go. It's like parallel copy, pretty much. Then, of course, the Marder A1, which is an anti-air that also has a Milan anti-tank missile mounting on it. So you can use that to take out targets. If you have a heavy tank rolling in, you can take care of it. Don't have to worry about it. Whereas if you're trying to do that in the M163 in the M47 platoon, it would be a large issue. So overall, I know that was a lot of information, a lot of numbers that I just spewed at you. The whole basic gist of it is the Leopard 1 platoon, in most regards, is better. If you want to get a ratty vehicle, the Marder partially works, but the T114 more so fits that category. And it has a proper heavy tank in the M47 platoon being the M103. So if you want a more proper heavy tank, you can go with that. However, the Leopard 1 platoon is more suited for the more modern, changing Cold War style of this rank, with the M48 A2C and the Leopard 1 being really good at this, and of course the Marder being able to take out tanks. So overall, I went with the Leopard 1 because I thought that just the combined statistics, the Leopard 1's more mobile, it can shoot quicker. It's just, in my opinion, well, maybe not shoot quicker. I know I have the stats pulled up, but I didn't actually check that one. But anyway, it's quicker, so it's more likely to get into spots before the enemy can shoot them, take them out, and it has a superior round, so it's going to be easier to deal with them. This is going to be really helpful for your grind of level 11, getting into level 12. So that's why I would go with the Leopard 1 if you've ever asked yourself this question. I know this has been a lot of numbers and stuff, but hopefully you guys were able to understand that this is what I would say to go with. Anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys again in the next one.